Howdy. Guess what? I'm in Illinois. I'm in Makanda, however you pronounce it. And see who's here with me? Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
So when I was in St. Louis and then flew back for those 2 days for the funeral, Dee went on ahead to Carbondale, and so I caught up with her, and so now we're just making it a short day. This is our first day out from Carbondale, going to a place called Giant City, Gigante, La Ciudad Gigante, and so we're only doing 11 miles today, and then we'll just play it by ear. We're getting into the Shawnee Forest, so I think we're going to be actually in the forest for a couple days. How about that? And then eventually we're going to make our way. So we're going to be on the River to River Trail, which is a trail that goes from the Mississippi to the Ohio. And we're eventually going to make our way to the Ohio River. I think we're going to stop first in a place called, I think we'll do a quick stop in Goreville to get a resupply. And then we're going to stop in Mount Vernon, Indiana, which Dee's got a package waiting for her there at the post office. So I'm doing a little better. When I got back to St. Louis, I, for the most part, slept for 15 hours. And then when I got to Carbondale, ended up staying 2 nights there. And the cough is still there, but it's going away little by little. And actually it's little bits and pieces of becoming a little bit wetter, which is good, because then I can cough it out. A little bit too much information, huh? All right, so Giant City Campground today. I think we'll be there about another 2 hours or so. And we're doing about a 3-mile-an-hour pace, which I was actually surprised, so. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Wah, 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 wah. Have I ever told you I like these little country roads? Especially, there's something even prettier about them on the beginning of a fall day.
See that carving to your left? Oh, never mind. I thought it was a carve.
Oh. So what was this that you were saying about, you know, that you're getting close to a campground?
You always see firewood for sale.
Firewood for sale. And look at this. The prices are actually dropping. The last two were $5, and this one's only $3.
Too bad we don't have a car. We can't honk.
Yeah, I know, huh? Can load it up in my backpack and all right, Giant City Townhomes. Selling wood for $3 a bundle. Good morning. Well, here's a real treat.
What's that?
Back in the wilderness. Yep. Haven't been in something like this since Colorado.
Yeah, I hit this like in the very beginning in California.
Yep. Feels refreshing. This is the River to River Trail in Illinois that I think I mentioned this before. It connects the goes between the Mississippi and eventually to the Ohio. We'll be crossing the Wabash River a few days up ahead here. Today's stop is Goreville. That's the goal. 15 or 16 miles, so let's see what we hit. Alright, so the first mile of the trail has been pretty wildernessy. Some bushwhacking, had to get down through a stream and all that. Now we're on this little road here for just a little bit more. And now, out in the middle of nowhere, look at that. Huh. Well maintained too.
Better than the trail.
Yep. Down here and over there. Well, we came out from the trees and we come to this and we go back into the trees. Huh. We call this thing a trail. Look at all these stickers on the pants. Spider webs. I think somebody missed their turn.
Not hard to do on this trail because it's so overgrown.
Take a look to your right there. Guess it'd be good during the rain. Hello, friend. Sorry I scared you. Have a nice day. Did you get a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't tell with the camera.
Well, as you can see, it's the end of the day. And we finally got out of all those weeds and thickets and stickers and spider webs. And, oh, what do we have here? Huh. Poletti. Guess they got their fall decorations up. What are you getting a picture of there? Oh, okay. See you later. Goreville, Illinois. It rained last night, as you can see, but I kept up my record of no tent. Why? Found a shelter. And I was home sweet home last night. Alright, still 8 days of only having to have used the tent. How much longer can I hold that record? Well, today is a road walk. Yesterday turned out to be a very long day. I think we did not long, and not very long as far as mileage goes, but it just felt like it was going and going and going and going and going and going. It was pretty and everything, the river to river trail, but we didn't get into the park there until probably 9 o'clock at night, something like that. So we were kind of going slowly yesterday. So anyway, it's a road walk, and we're actually detouring off the trail, staying out of the woods today. Trying to make a little bit more time up. Going to Creel Springs, maybe Harrisburg, and after that we'll figure it out. I have a history question for you. I don't know the answer, so if you'd like to look it up and let me know. Second capital, General George Rogers Clark, 1778. I don't remember hearing about George Rogers Clark in school. This is just, where are we? Just north of Goreville, Illinois. So if you know anything about that, can you let me know? Thanks. Look at that white smoke contrasted against the sky there. It's pretty interesting. I don't know what kind of stuff is being burnt there, but it's pretty neato. Neato cabito. Well, so far it looks like a wonderful place, doesn't it? And we're getting back into the piney forest. Look at that. Well, it of course looks like those were planted, but behind Alright, onward to Lake of Egypt and then Creel Springs. Well, you're looking for a good deal on a house? It's for sale. And looks like it's going to be in an auction. Bidding starts at $810. Needs a little bit of work, but nothing that a little paint and polish can't fix. Maybe a new roof. Huh. Mornings like these are very, very pleasant and a good time for turning your mind off and just kind of meditating, looking out at the countryside, these little country roads. Cool day. Can almost walk these for hours and hours without stopping, but probably wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. But anyway, good start to morning from Creel Springs. Gonna try and make it to Harrisburg today. That'd be 24 miles. And the only way we'll be able to do that is if we get maybe like a short ride. Other than that, if we don't make it there, we'll get to Stone Fort. Or after Stone Fort is a place called Carrier Mills. So we'll see what happens. Well, this is nice to have that they posted this. And look, it's just this little place on Little Country Road on the way to New Burnside, Illinois, which really is just kind of a little place name, really, not much there. It's at the corner of, let's see, 166 and 45. Nice little place. Got a little fishing pond. Huh. The pretty gently rolling countryside. Illinois has been a pretty and interesting mix of terrain, from the forest to these little country roads, rolling terrain. I didn't really know what to expect before I got to Illinois, but it's been nice. And it's going to be interesting feeling as well, because I think we're going to be done with Illinois already in the next 2 or 3 days, I think, maybe 4. So getting through a state so quickly, it's really, yeah, it's interesting feeling. And Indiana will be the same thing. And then Ohio will take a little bit longer. Then West Virginia will be pretty quick. Maryland. Yeah, everything after Ohio will be pretty fast. Well, don't just stand there. Do something. Hey, little guy. Well, see, he's doing something. He listened to me. What about you all up there? All right. Well, hello there, President Lincoln. Gonna be on your trail for a bit, huh? Going that way, northeast to Harrisburg. Still pretty little country, huh? So we're walking along basically in the middle of towns, and there's nothing out here except forest. And we come across this. How about this? A nice shady spot to rest. Where are we, do you say? Well, we're about 2 miles southwest of Stone Fort, Illinois. 16 miles southwest of Harrisburg. Thank you, church, for putting this here so we can sit here. What is that, you say? Well, if you eat chicken or if you eat eggs, this is how a lot of these chickens are raised. Big, long things. Think about that. See this? The river bending in Mount Vernon, Indiana. It's a pretty little town. And Ohio River. A little bit about Mount Vernon. This park is pretty nice. That'd be a nice camping spot right there. But a little bit about the early history of Mount Vernon. I guess the first settlers came here and built some log cabins. Lived here on the bluffs about 1806. That's when they first came in. And then Mount Vernon grew a little bit, and then the big industry at the time, in the early part of the town, was barrel making. And there's an interesting little story. The flatboaters would come, the rough rivermen. They'd come in and eat at the taverns and drink at the taverns and stuff. Well, one time things got a little rowdy, and there got to be an argument between the townsfolk and the boaters, the guys, and so they all got into a fight, and then they started getting bigger and bigger, and so finally they started. The townsfolk started fighting back with the boaters with the hoop poles. Now, hoop poles were used to help make the barrels, and so the townsfolk got the better of the boatmen and cut them up, beat them up, bruised them up pretty bad. So they hightailed it back to their boats and down the river, and then they they had to give an account to all their friends. And they said, "Hey, what happened to you guys?" And so they told them what went on, and then Mount Vernon got the nickname of Hoop Pole Township, and it kept things out of trouble for the rest of the time. Now, the interesting too about Hoop Pole Township is, if you've ever read the book by Mark Twain called Life on the Mississippi, he mentions that. So interesting stuff. Something else that's interesting, Abraham Lincoln is thought to have passed through here a number of times when he was studying law, because his mentor, Judge Pitcher, actually lived here. And so not much happened in the Civil War. In the Civil War, Mount Vernon became kind of a spot for convalescence of troops and stuff. But there was not really any fighting that went on around here, even though the Confederate raiders would try to cross over from Kentucky. So this is Mount Vernon, Indiana. Nice little place. And the nice thing is that somebody stopped us, and we've got a place to stay tonight at their house. And you got free chili, cookies, ice cream. Nice balanced meal, but hey, nonetheless, great stuff. So thank you very much, Karen. We'll see you in a couple hours. And then tomorrow we'll be on our way to Evansville. So Mount Vernon, Indiana. That's a pretty river, Ohio River. I think I like the way it bends here. You can see upstream and downstream. It's downstream right there, going towards the Mississippi, and then upstream right here, going towards Ohio and Pennsylvania. Good morning. Well, as I told you, we met this lady at the post office. You're going to meet her in a second. And so we got to stay here at her house in this neighborhood in Mount Vernon. Pretty nice neighborhood, huh? Take a look real quick. Right here, let me go up here. And look at that. The sheriff even lives right across the street there. So pretty safe neighborhood, nice place. We got to camp out in the back porch there. And now let's go meet Karen. Where's oh, there's Karen.
Hello.
So how did we meet?
Well, I was going to the post office yesterday, and I recognized two hikers and started a conversation with Mike and Dee. And my son had hiked the PCT and had a lot of trail angels taking care of him. And I just thought, if I ever got the chance to do this, I never thought I would in southwestern Indiana.
Ah, yeah.
So yesterday was my chance, and I was thrilled, and I've been so happy to be able to do that.
All right. Now your son, he hiked the PCT when?
2 years ago, so 2017.
2017. So that was a high snow year.
Yes.
And I'll put a picture of him. It's Jonathan, right?
Jonathan,
So Jonathan, he started at the Mexican border in what month?
April.
In April?
April 20th.
Okay, and then for those of you that don't know, 2017 was a high snow year, high water year, so he had a lot of challenges. And then you finished at the Canadian border when?
5 months later in September.
5 months. So you did in 5 months. Pretty good
Yeah.
in a pretty tough year.
Yeah.
So there's Karen. Thank you very much. And
Thank
Jonathan, congratulations. Maybe you'll get out there and do the CDT or something like that.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Don't know if you can see that. A couple of barges going up and down the river on the Ohio River there. I'm in a pretty nice spot here. This is actually Karen's land. She owns some land here halfway between Mount Vernon and Evansville. So staying here tonight, and they get up early and get on into Evansville tomorrow. So thank you very much, Karen. It's a pretty nice place. They got I don't know how many acres she said she has, but it extends up here, and then there's some cliffs right there, and then the river, the land extends down to the bank of the river. I'm staying up here because it's pretty overgrown down there at the river. So there's a little bit of clearing up here, so it'll be nice. And then on into Evansville tomorrow. I'll take a 0 day. So, nice place here. Nice and shady. And this is again about halfway between Mount Vernon and Evansville, if you want to look at it on the map. Pretty nice. Okay, that's it for now. So that's the power plant right by the river, close by where I camped last night, and halfway between Mount Vernon and Evansville. And this morning the temperature is pleasant, but it's one of those real sultry mornings, so it's kind of wet and sticky. I mean, there wasn't any dew last night, but the morning's just wet and, you're sweaty already, even in the shade. I've got one more day of antibiotics left, and I'll be glad, because it really is doing a number on me as far as energy goes. Yes, I'll be glad to get off of those. And so now, trying to get into Evansville before noon. Let's see if we make it. Plan is to go through some farmland, and then next to the river for a bit. So let's see what happens. Well, these cornfields are starting to get harvested, but I'm missing it. All I see here is the aftermath. Maybe I'll get lucky and see a combine up close and personal. Over here are some soybean fields. They still have a little ways to go before they're dry enough to be harvested. But I passed some back there just a little bit. Looks like they're all dried up, ready to go. Okay, keeping my fingers crossed. Well, that's an interesting name, isn't it? Let's go down and take a look at the river before we get into town here. And here we have it. The Ohio River up close and personal. That's downriver. And that's upriver, where I'll be, Evansville. And that right there is the new Plaza Yacht Club. So the Ohio River, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from where I'll be. And here you have the Ohio River in Evansville. Le Marigot Hotel. I'm going to take a 0 day here, so let's go see what it looks like and we'll see what kind of room we get. Hello there. Hello again. Take a look. Looks like a yucky view, don't you think? But no, it's not really. Because look at that. The river. Pretty good. This room reminds me of one that I stayed in a number of years ago in Scottsdale. Same thing, the bathroom was there and it had those 2 slot windows to put some light into the bathroom. Huh. Interesting. Le Marigot Hotel, Evansville, Indiana. My home for 2 nights. Uh-oh. Sensory overload. No, I'm not playing or gambling. I thought I'd walk through here to find the buffet. Where's the buffet? I'm walking slower. Why is that? Because I just finished the buffet. The buffet will be closed tomorrow. What's that?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh no, I left
Okay.
my glasses and my jacket.
Oh yeah, she found your glasses. They're, I think they're at the front desk there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I did 11 rounds because the buffet is closed tomorrow. And I'm full. Hi. All right, so that's it. Now I'm going to go sleep it off. Good evening. Well, I didn't sleep off that buffet too much, but I did stay a few extra days in Evansville. The weather's been like 20 degrees higher than usual, and with the heat and the humidity, pushed the heat index up above 100 degrees. So I figured, it's probably not a good idea to be hiking in 100, 105 degree heat index, right? So anyway, it gave me a chance to do a few things around here in Evansville. I got a chance to go visit with the Lord a couple times. That was nice. And walked around Evansville, saw some nice old-timey homes. And the river, got to go down to the river, see the boats playing around out there on the river. They watched the barges go by. And then had a real nice dinner on the river as my send-off for my next leg on the way to Louisville. So that's what's going on, and stay tuned.